relatively relaxed news day, so there's only like 4 actual stories to cover. I do have more queued up, but we're going to see if we get to any of them, actually. So yeah, tonight is All Hallows Eve. Yes, indeed. That means that it's time for some horror movies. I'm interested in seeing which horror movies you prefer in the comments. Mine, my go-to, it's Hocus Pocus. Yeah, with Omri Katz and so forth. Just saying. Perception dominant, lol. That's what I'm talking about. Pre-59 Cuban. Button-down collar, khakis, boat shoes, sweater around neck. Yeah, if you're in the Caribbean, then that would make sense. Although there is a hurricane going through there, so I don't know why you'd want to be down there by now. 4 Senate Republicans vote with Democrats in effort to end Trump tariffs on Canada. We will be talking about that. But Karine Jean-Pierre's disastrous book tour, this is from MSNBC, by the way, exposes about Biden loyalism. Yeah, it exposes the fact that the left doesn't like Biden anymore. They've decided to discard him like a used toy, or something like that. Washington Times editorial, left-wing sources poisoning the AI version of truth. I have seen this myself, although I have been toying with Grok, actually, lately. And overall, it works really, really well. It was able to identify obscure 80s music almost seamlessly. Sadly, I can still not find that one song that I've been looking for since the VH1 I Love the 80s era. It is impossible, it appears, to find. Some sort of new romantic boy band, but it was something obscure. It may have been a one-hit wonder. I'm not 100% sure. I'm still trying to find it as we speak. By the way, we are all doomed. Deep Antarctic waters hold geometric communities of fish nests. Yes, the Cthulhu worshippers are now building cities, it appears. And then we get some other shit we'll maybe talk about. Pat McDaniel sent one in 199. No comment, thank you very much. Barack Obama, did you even wipe? I didn't have to use the bathroom, actually. Behold, I am actually still here. And I've got tea. You gotta get some Yunnan jig, I'm telling you. I'm almost out, so that's gonna be a problem. Rabatha. Pirate Clank. Tarred and feathered, Styx dressing up as Greta again. Yeah, Greta Thunberg could never be a pirate. I don't think that she would make it on a pirate ship. Just saying. I don't think that that would work very well. She might be one of the wenches aboard. That's pretty much the ability that she would have. Mexican Trumper, Styx. Yes, indeed. It is Styx on All Hallows Eve. Today is a day for horror movies and things like that. Even Greta can swab a deck. As long as it's the poop deck. She seems to be into that sort of thing, honestly. It's very, very strange, actually. 4 Senate Republicans vote with Democrats in effort to end Trump tariffs on Canada. Yeah, instead of getting their priorities in order, the Republicans, at least a few of them, have decided that the most important thing is to cock-block Donald Trump with regards to trade tariffs on countries that are tariffing our goods at some points at an exorbitant rate. We're talking no less than 280% or thereabouts. The Senate passed a resolution aimed at ending President Donald Trump's tariffs on Canada, with 4 Republicans joining Democrats to rebuke the administration's trade policies a day after they voted to terminate tariffs on Brazil. Senators, and I hate to mention this name because I actually respect him, he's got principle. The others don't have principle. We'll talk about that a little bit further. Senators Rand Paul, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, and former Republican leader Mitch McConnell crossed the aisle to side with Democrats in the 50-46 vote. They all previously voted to block the Canada tariffs in April. I will give Rand Paul a pass. I'll give him a pass because I understand where his rationale is coming from. I can extend no such courtesy to Murkowski or Collins, certainly, and if you expect me to extend any courtesy at all to Bitch McConnell, yeah, you're barking up the wrong tree. Never gonna happen. So one of these four is not quite like the others. The resolution aims to end the tariffs by terminating an emergency declaration from the president. Yes, indeed, that's perfectly fine. Tariffing Canada is because Katy Perry is fucking Justin Trudeau. I think probably a good idea at this point. Just saying. Donald Trump is ostensibly right. Now, again, the only person in this group of people that has any credibility at all is Rand Paul. Murkowski, Collins, and McConnell have all been rhinos the entire time. They're just standing in the way of policy. With Rand Paul, it's because he has a legit beef with the policy. So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit better, I suppose. But they did cross the line, and they voted with the Democrats. Indeed. Dominic Anise, show us your pumpkin. I got your pumpkin down here. Timmy the Oot, Young Frankenstein. It's pronounced Frankenstein. And you must be Igor. By the way, one of the best movies of all time, Young Frankenstein by Mel Brooks. Yeah, Rich Kenyon, he is a rhino. Also, he is not his father. Yeah, I'm assuming that you're looking at Rand Paul. I don't think that he's a rhino. I just think that he's wrong situationally. He has a tendency to be against overt government overreach, and that's a good thing. I don't blame him for this. I don't think that it's a stain on his character at all. But when you have a government policy that is actually sane, standing in the way of it simply out of the principle of standing in the way of government in general, that's more puristic as opposed to pragmatic. So, yeah, it's a bit of a problem. Vulcus, Styx, can you please use your chaos magic to restore the functionality of my left testicle? Your left testicle is fine. It's probably still there. Don't worry about it too much. Silly bean. Holden Sneedmeyer. Some tech news. The Russians have developed miniaturized nuclear reactors to the point where they can stick it in a missile. Test had it flying for 15 hours. In theory, weeks. Name is Brevsnik. Yeah, we've been miniaturizing nuclear reactors and nuclear systems for quite some time. The U.S. actually was dabbling with the option of having miniaturized nuclear reactors power some of the tech programs that are going on, actually. Inner City Pigeon. Styx, you are in no position to tell other people how to pronounce things. You misspelled pronunciation, which is absolutely hysterical to me, by the way. You regularly mispronounce many words, even after being corrected by your audience. Yes, I have a Connecticut River accent. Absolutely. I would notice against you did not spell pronounce correctly. According to the old meme, this means that you are wrong. Cat Scratch. Trump has Epstein's cum-stained underwear formed and hanging up in the Oval Office. CB Simple. Clank. Are we tardy and homosexual? Slightly. Not the homosexual part, but yeah, sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to get to the live streams. I do the best that I bloody can. Later on, I want to play Napoleon Total War. I want to charge up that fucking hill. Always, when you're on the Spanish lakeside, if you happen to be the defending team, form up your line, put your howitzers forward, make sure to send a couple groups, irregulars usually, off to one side, and then charge your light and your cav up onto the hill. If you do this, you'll win 100 times out of 100. Because even on hard mode, the AI is too stupid to realize that you're taking the hill. It's actually quite funny. Just don't fixate on having French allies. That's probably a bad idea. Yeah, that's gonna be funny. Also, I am proud to announce that the Sarcastic Ads book is pretty much more or less done. It's been reformatted. It's been put in its new format. Spell checked again. There was only one error that I actually had to redact, so I think I did a good job the first time around. It's been completely done, and now I simply have to make a cover for it. Sigil! Other video site web chat is broken. YouTube will not let me say its name. Open their app to use chat and see chats. But if you're not listing the site, I don't know exactly what its name is. My apologies for that. Video site web chat is broken. Oh, I think you mean Rumble. Yeah, it is interesting that so few chats have come through. My apologies, Sigil. Let me look into it. Let me see what the hell is happening. Rumble, dumbass. Yeah, well, it takes me a minute. Just saying. Also, there's a lot going on. You've got to imagine this. It's All Hallows Eve. Tomorrow is Halloween. There's a lot going on in this household around this time of year. I'll probably be taking some of that beef stew. I'm just going to extract the carrots from it and just fucking eat them because carrots are great. Perception dominant. Styx is getting old. No, Styx is getting fucking cool. Look at me. I'm a goddamn pirate. Sigil, Rumble has been broken all day. Yeah, there were problems earlier. There were also problems with YouTube the other day. I don't know what the hell is going on. Let's get to our sponsors before we get to the rest of the news. We have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get mushroom pills like these ones. I use them every single morning. There is a reason for that. Keeps me going. Keeps me, well, not sane, but at the very least, functional, I suppose. Also, you get the doggy dose, so you can give that to the doggos in your life. Nah, they seem to like it pretty well. I did have one other subscriber the other day detail this and say, oh yeah, the dogs, they love it. That was my experience, honestly. Cats would probably eat it too, so, you know, it just depends. If you're a cat person, just crumble off a chunk of it, try that, give it to the cat, they'll probably eat it too. Secondly, we've got BiltongUSA.com, and today, thankfully, oh god, we have Bovrite. Yes, indeed. D-fucking-licious, by the way. You can use this as a beef bouillon in soups and stuff like that. And you can use it like Vegemite and just smear it on toast or something like that. But it's best in like a beef stew or something along those lines. Or if you're making like a veggie soup, you want it to be mostly vegetables, but you want that beefy flavor, you just put it in there. Also, Anton can sell you Sticks, X, and Hammer mugs, tumblers, and shirts, and a variety of different meats. Wagyu, Angus, Cabanassi, bison, venison. He's pretty much got it all. And then finally, we have jamandbean.com. That is JAMNbean.com. Hail to you with your excellent tea. Still got a few bags remaining, by the way. I haven't tried the jasmine tea. Although it smells delicious, so I'm sure that it's really good. And then we've got Clank Blend Coffee. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, baby. Most of this is gone too, so, you have to restock once in a while. Again, I do not promote any product that I do not personally use. So get coffee, tea, meat, imports of various kinds, various mushroom pills, including for animals. You should probably, you should grab some up. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, on Rumble, I believe that chat is not working. Sulfo, chile or chili? I like to eat chili. I would like to visit Chile. Yeah, Cat Scratch. Use tampons make a great bullion for vampires. There's actually a song, I can't remember the name of the band. It was like a cyber grindcore band that had Tampon Teabag actually as one of their songs. I thought it was pretty funny actually at the time. Melon Rye, this is my 4th Halloween with sticks. Thank you for keeping it white, my dude. That's what I'm talking about. Christmas should be white. Halloween is normally orange colored. There's this weird show where they make like zombies and stuff out of pumpkins that my mom is watching. I can't remember the name of the show. It's some British show, I believe. And they actually had Haig on there, actually, from Devil's Rejects. And it's a pretty good show, actually. Some of the things that they're building are quite impressive, actually. What Karine Jean-Pierre's disastrous book tour exposes about Biden loyalism. It's interesting. When Joe Biden was running for office, all of the liberals circled their wagons and said, there's nothing wrong with him, he's perfectly fine, he's fit to serve, and he should be elected the next president of the United States. When he decided to bow out, though, when Kamala was foisted into the ignominious position of having to fill his shoes, all of a sudden, defending Biden became a big, big problem. All of a sudden, it was a big problem because you shouldn't do that, because it makes Kamala look bad. We're still seeing it now. Now, the election was months ago. They're still doing the same fucking bullshit. Effectively, now Kamala is the minted royalty of the Democratic Party. So when Karine Jean-Pierre, and I don't like her, I mean, and probably none of you do as well. When Karine Jean-Pierre comes out and says, well, Biden was unwell, and I was never really sold on Kamala and stuff like that, it's hysterical. They're attacking her instead. And this is, by the way, and this is the ultimate irony, this is an MSNBC article. Talk about coincidence. Her own network is now attacking her because she dares to criticize Kamala Harris and defend Joe Biden. And the reason for that is strictly partisan. Biden can't run anymore. So, he's done. He's toast. He's not going anywhere except for the funny farm. So, they don't want anyone to defend him. They're throwing him under the bus, which is effectively what Jean-Pierre is talking about, but they won't acknowledge the fact that they're doing so while they are effectively doing so. The whole idea is Joe Biden has become dead weight, forget that he ever existed because all of us were wrong, and then maybe this other person can come along and we can mint them as the Democratic candidate. It won't, by the way, be Kamala Harris. You're more likely to see Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg, or some dark horse candidate. That's my own personal bet. But it will not be Kamala Harris. She will never be president of the United States. The people of the U.S. are too fucking intelligent to elect somebody like that. They were intelligent enough not to elect Joe Biden, too, although the voting machines, they were a little bit on the problematic side. So it's going to be probably a dark horse candidate. I can't imagine that they would have to be fucking crazy to run, fucking Kamala Harris. They'd have to be nuts. Well, I mean, they are nuts, but at the same time, you'd have to be even more nuts than they currently are. G6. Was Eve's apple the original Wuhan bat? No, the original Wuhan bat was sold to the wet market by Chang the janitor. And that is a guarantee. Yeah, that's how the Wu flu actually came out into the public. It wasn't quite ready. The bioweapon was not quite prepared. But Chang the janitor got greedy. And so he said, well, sell this to the wet market. I get like $12 or something like that. Sounds like a good deal to me, right? And that's effectively what happened. Use dryer sheets. Kamala probably drunk right now. No, that's Hillary Clinton or Elizabeth Warren. Kamala's more into cocaine. She's interested in drugs. Left-wing sources poisoning the AI version of truth. Now, this is from the Washington Times. I want to weigh in on this. I have tested AI programs. I've even administered Voight-Kampff tests on them. And none of them pass, by the way. Some AI systems are definitely being poisoned by the fact that they scoop, material up from the web, and a disproportionate amount of it comes from people with left-wing political videos and stuff like that. So, Hassan Piker is designing your AI. How lovely. How wonderful. Some of them buck that trend. For instance, Grok. I have not determined political bias in Grok, for example. Grok appears to be more advanced because presumptively it's not scraping all of this information. I know that it still has to scrape Wikipedia, YouTube videos, and things like that, but I tested it earlier. I didn't perceive any bias, honestly. I was surprised. I expected that it would be like, basically, based on what you're saying, you're effectively Adolf Hitler, or something like that. That's not actually what happened. So at the very least, Elon Musk has managed to make an AI program that's reliable. That's all I'm saying. I would rather use Grok than all of these other programs. People will call you a right-wing extremist, by the way, for saying so. Oh my god, you like the right-wing AI program, and shit like that. They've literally been saying that for several months. G-Sticks. I already commented on that one. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, a lot of the AI programs out there, it's just woke bullshit. It's nothing more than human, superfluous, so-called pseudo-knowledge, effectively, rammed into a computer, system, and then people are drawing back out of it. It's nothing more than a slurry of bias and opinion. With Grok, you get a little bit more advanced, I think. It's not perfect. There are problems with it. But I've been querying it. I've literally administered the Voight-Kampff test and things of that nature to it. While it's not capable of passing the test, it is capable of actually giving reasonable results. I have not had this particular result with other AI systems. So I would recommend Grok. I would recommend getting on X, ultimately, because it is simply better than the alternatives. Far better. Also, it's capable of developing audio tracks. Only they're in MIDI, so you have to convert them if you use certain systems. It's a little bit different. Dominic Anise, kitties are love, kitties are life. Ask King Tut. Yes, indeed, cats are gods. I mean, just look at what they do when you go to the door. You are the doorman. If Kitty is inside, Kitty wants to be outside. If Kitty is outside, Kitty demands to be inside. It's pretty much a universal law. Just saying. we have 3 cats. And they are all well loved and extremely goddamn spoiled. Quincy, he'll come in first thing in the morning. Meow, meow. He'll yowl at the door. You let him in. He crawls into the bed. It's clear what he wants. Fishy snacks. Yes, indeed. Thank you, JD Spare, by the way, for sending me those fishy snacks, because otherwise the cat'll probably start eating me. Micah will come in. Meow, meow. What does she want? She wants to go to the bathroom, and she wants the faucet turned on because she refuses to drink water in the normal way. Then you go out to the breezeway, perhaps. Maybe you want to take some air. Maybe you need to go to the basement. It does not matter. Athena will go through the door before you, and she will not accept any other considerations. Once you let her through, she will probably stare at you for an extended period of time, possibly meowing at you as well. She might want treats as well, but it's never entirely clear. She's the odd one of the bunch. I love cats, myself, but they're a little bit on the weird side. Ian Francis, remember how strict YouTube used to be just a couple of years ago? Yeah, you couldn't even have, like, lesbians kissing. Now, lesbians kissing is practically mandatory. You're just not allowed to talk about politics. Raven, when you understand you live cat spaces, you are a servant. Yeah, exactly. We are the servants of the cat race. Quite literally. And it is good because they are fluffy. Micah's like basically a cloud. And then when you touch her, it's like you can't even feel the fur. It's like literally petting a cloud. By the way, I wanted to talk about something. This is going to be slightly flippant. Deep Antarctic waters hold geometric communities of fish nests. The structures may help protect eggs from hungry predators. It looks like fish in the Antarctic have begun to form some sort of sub-civilization. This is basically a Lovecraft novel when you think of it. It's also hilarious. It looks like fish are creating little mini-cities, more than anything, right off the coast of Antarctica. Now, we've already seen in Antarctic exploration, when we've been drilling down, exploring underneath the ice, and so forth, originally, Antarctica was believed to be fairly bleak. It's like, hey, it's just basically a pile of snow and glaciers and stuff. There's not a whole lot going on here. Since then, though, we've figured out, in only the course of a decade, by the way, yeah, there's a shit ton of fish down there. Now they're building cities or some shit like that. And there's a lot of other cool stuff, too. Oh, yeah, by the way, the entire center of the continent is probably temperate. It's just covered in ice. I'm waiting for the day when we get some sort of declassified report from the U.S. Navy saying, yeah, we found a couple of U-boats down there. They actually made it under the ice. And they probably set up a generation system or something like that. And they believed that it was basically their new empire. And they actually created it. It's possible. With technology in the early to mid-1940s, it would be possible for a contingency of people to actually inhabit Antarctica. There would be enough air. There would be enough water. There would certainly be enough food resources. They would simply have to calibrate everything to make it work. I have a feeling that this was attempted. I do not believe they were successful, but there's probably still some scattered U-boats in that general area. And now we're finding, hey, look, at least your protein source is totally taken care of. If you can desalinate water, and you've got a protein source, and because of energy generation, you're capable of growing a limited number of crops, basically you've got everything that you need to live. It is possible to live under Antarctica. Yes, absolutely. Letty Schlipper. Happy Hallows Eve, Sticks. Yeah, All Hallows Eve. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, something's wrong, by the way, with Rumble. I don't know what the fuck is, Yeah, there's something wrong over there. So basically, I'm just talking to the YouTube crowd at the moment. And Twitter, to an extent. Celestial, Kamala isn't into Coke. She just likes the smell. You can't call me when I'm on a live stream, silly. Just give me a second. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Michael L. Hood. Is the host a national security threat? No, absolutely not. I have total loyalty to the United States and always will. Actually, I do not have loyalty to most of the other forces in the US, but as far as my country goes, yes, I will defend it to the death. The hell is going on with Rumble? Let me try to figure this out. Let me refresh it. This may, well, actually, this may cause a problem with the live stream at large. I'm going to try to figure this out. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Yes, I'll take the... Alright, everything is wonky today. It wouldn't be a perfect All Hallows Eve if there weren't some ghosts moving around fucking with the electronic equipment or something like that. Yeah. Ari rules, Sticks, I'm gonna take a nap listening to you. You are more than welcome to do so. I hope that you find my voice relaxing. Sometimes I find it acerbic myself, so it's all good. Aha! I believe that Rumble is actually working now. Let me do this. Just give me a second, okay? Yeah, something is fucking wrong with Rumble. I couldn't see web chat at all. King of Biltong is there, which means that we have a responsibility. We must eat some bovine. Any excuse to eat that shit. Trust me, take it. You put about a teaspoon of this in a beef stew. Assuming you're serving like 8 or something like that. It's just the right amount. It'll make it beefier. It's also got a little bit of a celery flavor to it. I really, really love celery. You may have noticed from such shows as Stick Sexenhammer eats 100 pounds of celery. Sorry, Lauren, but yeah, it is the Schumer shutdown. And fuck the ACA. I don't give a fucking shit about the ACA. It was rammed through, you've got to pass it to find out what's in it, and stuff like that. It should just screw off under the wheels of a bus. It hasn't lowered costs, by the way. You may have seen that now famous chart that is utilized actually as retaliation against stupid liberals talking about the subject. It's pretty much linear. The ACA did not lower prices. Not even close. Actually, it might have raised them, but we're not 100% sure. Again, there are lies, damn lies, and statistics. So saying that the left has raised the Medicaid prices and stuff like that you really can't go that far. But saying that the ACA lowered them, also, you can't do that. It's basically just fucking linear, so, yeah, fuck them all. The less government involved in your life, the better your life will be. Raven, I remember when we were going through the DT airport and showed me a great tunnel. Are you the pilot that I met? That would be hysterical if you are. Yeah, I remember. I met a pilot in, I believe it was Fort Wayne. And, yeah, there's this big tunnel that connects the terminals. And it's really, really cool, actually. Usually has some good music going as well. Yeah, the ACA, unfortunately, has been a miserable failure. The alternative is also miserable failure. And that's because of pharma. That's because of the monopolistic way in which pharma operates. So it doesn't matter if you have an ACA. It doesn't make any difference. And the prices have been roughly linear for, 30 years or something like that? The ACA didn't do anything. Nothing else is going to do anything otherwise also, unless you deregulate. Brenda, get your hairlood seeds and start growing. Yeah, there's going to be plenty of growing going on here. I've just got to make room for it. Unfortunately, I have so many bromeliads and orchids and stuff like that up there that it's difficult to make the room. I've got 7 grow lamps, but, God, I have to clear off the entire shelf over there in order to actually grow anything. I was almost despondent enough to want to, sticks off, as they say. I decided to stand and fight. I ain't going nowhere. My friends need me. So yeah, enjoy the show. Ross K, hey Sticks. Well, hello to you as well. Drennan, sodium vapor lamps. I wish that I could hook one of those up in here, but the electrical system is from the 1960s. That would probably fry it out. So you can just use those little LED lamps and stuff like that. That's perfectly fine for small plantlings. And I did that before, and it worked really well, actually. It wasn't expensive. Worked pretty well. Michael Hoodoo, we thought of y'all as a national security threat. Yeah, no, I'm not a threat to the United States. If anything, I'd be a threat to China or some, nation like that. S. Lago, who made your action figure? It depends on which one you are talking about. We've got G-sticks in one corner. We've also got the paper mache. Then we've got, the sleazy pea martini and stuff like that. I like to collect things that are sent to me by people who actually care about my content. I find it fun. Dominic Anise, my wife is a security threat. Please take her, Tulsi and Cash, help me. I don't have any clue what you're referring to, my dude. Yeah, this is paper mache. And, there was a pirate hat that went with it. I can't find the fucking hat. It's, been lost somewhere. But it's me with, tentacles and shit like that. I really, really love it. And then I have my... Yeah. Okay. You can stand up good. I have my furry trout. Salmo Chutadoma from Canada. It's an old reference to Brotherhood of the Wolf. If you've never seen that movie, I strongly suggest that you see it. Yes, they used to have furry trouts and things like that. They would taxidermy animals, and then they would make them, fantastical. And people in the royal court, of course, they never... Oh, God, we're going to get down the rabbit hole here. Fuck this shit. Fuck the news. We're going to go down the rabbit hole. Beast of Gévaudan, which is tied in with the furry trout story. So the idea was people in the royal court and in, France proper, they didn't really understand animals, basically. They were fairly local, they generally stuck to themselves, they stuck to their own communities, and so they never saw any exotic animals or anything. So if you went to Canada and you grabbed a trout and you taxidermied it and put fur on it or something like that, they would be totally taken in. It's like, hey, if you go to the French, Canadian colonies, you will see these. It's cold. Therefore, they've evolved fur, and that keeps them from being cold. Now, of course, this is ridiculous. Much like platypuses, kangaroos, and other things were originally cryptids, actually. Nobody believed that kangaroos existed till they brought back a specimen. Nobody believed that platypuses existed until they brought back a specimen to England, and so on and so on forth. So they had the furry trout. And it's a joke. They also had the hoop snake and all sorts of other things. The lumberjack tales from the early 1800s mainly. Fascinating anthropology, by the way. I've edited several works on the subject. But one of the big ones, other than the furry trout, actually is the Beast of Gévaudan itself. Something that I've talked about on several occasions. The Beast of Gévaudan was a lion. Some noble got a lion when he was in Africa, he was shooting game, and they probably found a baby lion, brought it back. Oh, it's so cute! Look how it toys around! Oh, yeah, I mean, it's biting my wrist off, but, it's a little cute thing to impress the court ladies and stuff like that. And then, unfortunately, it got loose because they didn't realize how high lions can jump. It got out, it went on a rampage, it killed over 100 people, actually, and there was nothing they could do about it, so they covered it up. It was a literal cover-up story. It's probably the greatest cover-up, actually, in all of political history, because this lion, which is clearly what it was based on the descriptions, with a stripe down its back, a long ropey tail, and, a muzzle that's more truncated than the average dog. That's a lion, dude. It came from North Africa, from some noble, and then it went on a rampage. Now, they eventually killed it. But they killed a bunch of wolves, actually, beforehand. At first, they thought that it was a wolf. Of course, it wasn't. It was a lion. Its grouping, by the way, shows territoriality, which I mentioned earlier today, actually. And when they realized this, there weren't many people in France that were familiar with this kind of animal. Most of these people would have assumed it was a wolf. That's why the depictions of the Beast of Gévaudan typically approach a wolf. That's because they had never seen a lion. They had no clue about it. And so they went out knowing that it was a lion, saying, okay, an exotic animal has gone wild in southern France. If we don't take fucking care of this, there's going to be a real big problem. And so they killed it. And they probably buried the remains somewhere in Mount Montmouche or somewhere around there. Then they killed a couple of abnormally large wolves, and they presented them to the court and said, look, the beast is gone. This is the right thing to do. Fundamentally, by the way, under the situation, the public didn't have any idea about what wolves were. They had only seen it in, biblical passages and stuff like that. They had no idea what a wolf looked like. They couldn't have defended themselves and would have pretty much all died, actually. So they decided to present the wolves to the court and say, look, haha, we killed the beast. Well, you did, but it wasn't the ones that you presented. Meanwhile, the lion was probably just unceremoniously dropped into a grave and rotted. That's the truth of the beast of Gévaudan. I have a feeling that it was a subadult male lion. Somebody took it as a trophy, and then they impressed people for a while. They covered it up because back then, under French Napoleonic law, the noble would have been responsible for the bill if somebody got injured by it. So, naturally, they didn't want word getting out now, did they? I've been a victim of Napoleonic law myself. Apocalypse Wow. What is the scariest movie you saw? It depends on the kind of scare. As far as my own personal phobias, it would be Saw 2. I am not a fan of needles. So the needle pit scene definitely, I don't like to watch that. If you're talking about jump scares, it would definitely be The Descent. That one scene where the bat creature appears randomly behind the chick. Yeah, that was, it was a little bit of a jump. Also Jurassic Park, ironically. It was funny. There was this one time, I was with one of my exes, right? She had never seen Jurassic Park, right? And so I put it on, and she wasn't expecting it. Like when they go in and the velociraptor comes roaring out between the power lines, and before that, there's like the dead dude's arm hanging on her shoulder, and she's like, oh, thank God. Then she realizes it's been severed, and then the velociraptor comes out. Yeah, that was pretty funny. That was a good day. Ross K, have you ever seen the Green Inferno sticks? No, actually I haven't. Capsule, dinosaurs aren't real. No, they have gone extinct, actually. Which is really, really sad. FB 3490. Think like a captain, act like a pirate. Arr, matey. That be what I'm talking about. Taco Woman Sandy Ravage. Final shout out from my band Gnashing and our show tonight at Siberia in NOLA with Suicide Forest. Good band, by the way. Anarena and Reptilian War Machine. Doors at 8, $10 cover. This is our last show of the year. New album in 2026. That's what I'm talking about. Mr. Crippy just got here. What did I miss? Everything. I'm sorry to disappoint. Just joking. No, it's mostly a Bantz stream at this point. I'm having fun. We were talking about Antarctic fish. What was the next? Oh, aide to Massachusetts Governor Healey charged in cocaine trafficking scheme allegedly linked to state office building. This will not be covered by the legacy media at large, by the way. The revolution will not be televised. People will be too busy listening to Joe Rogan on a podcast. Lamar Cook, can we guess the race? 45 of Springfield pleaded not guilty and was ordered held during a court hearing. Yeah, they wouldn't even let him go. Yeah, no shit. Lamar Cook, 45, was fired as an aide to Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey after his arrest on suspicion of cocaine trafficking. We're going to try to do the Dr. Roxo impression. Cocaine! I think that's pretty good. Yeah, but this has been a repeat sort of thing. The Democrats keep hiring people who are running drugs and shit like that. Then, when you look at the public record, and this is maybe a little bit conspiratorial, but can I please make a connection here? If you've got a political party that has people that are habitually selling drugs, and that same party is constantly trying to prevent you from forestalling drugs from coming into the United States, Is there the possibility of a connection? I'm just asking an obvious question. Slightly. But yeah, I can't pronounce your username. Does Dr. Roxo remind you of King Diamond? No, it reminds me more of Van Halen than anything else. Yeah, David Lee Roth, exactly. Cocaine. I loved Dr. Roxo bits in Metalocalypse. I'm just saying, Dr. Roxo is the best character that they came out with. Just saying. I'm Dr. Roxo and I do cocaine. I have never done it myself. Some planets might homebrew their own water, proving what we knew many, many years ago. It is possible for planets, asteroids, and so forth, under the right conditions, to actually create water. This reminded me of something. It reminded me of that one dude that does mainly geological work, actually. And he believes in the concept of star water. That is, that the power of the sun, through one method or another, is capable of generating H2O. It turns out that now mainstream science has caught up with him. He is fundamentally correct. And so water is capable of generating where it wasn't originally generated to begin with, through chemical reactions. This is fascinating, by the way. It's also revolutionary. It's much more, this is much more important than some people are giving importance to. If water can generate on planets, comets, and so forth, and it doesn't need to be water to begin with, it just requires a chemical reaction or an energetic reaction, what does that say about the universe? It's full of fucking life. Water's everywhere. It's everywhere. A lot of planets have water on them. They are habitable. I mean, maybe not habitable towards us, but at the very least towards life forms in general. Ja. Prediction on severity of snap EBT riots. Spoken of this in the last few days. I don't think that it'll be terribly significant, but I do think that there will be protests and riots, yes, unfortunately. I would recommend being topically armed. I don't think you'll need anything more than that, though. You gotta realize some of the people on EBT, they really do need it. They're not trying to game the system or anything like that. There are some people that try to, and they're the ones that are most likely to riot because they're the least lawless. Lawful, rather. But that will only be a few people, I think. I wouldn't worry too much. Raven, we can go like 3 days without water. Food, more like maybe 30. I don't think you can go 30 days without food unless you're fat to begin with. I believe that the cutoff is 3 days without water and roughly 7 to 10 days without food, depending on your body weight. Apocalypse, wow! Event Horizon needs a remake. Excellent space horror concept, bad execution. Never seen it. Taco Woman, Sandy Ravage. Trump said that Snap would be solved by November 1st. If he manages to put the lid on that can, the left is going to be deprived of such a major talking point that they might as well fucking punch themselves in the neck. If he does manage that, it will destroy them. Wami Shidop. Many people have gone 30 days without eating. Yeah, but I mean, the average person will not survive that long. So the thing is, it is possible, but it's not likely. It sort of, again, depends on the starting weight. Are you at least eating a handful of berries or something like that, Any chance that the 80s band you are thinking of is Classiques Nouveau? Their best known song is Guilty. I'm going to look it up right now. Thank you. Yeah, you get featured because it's possible that Classiques Nouveau, Guilty. Oh man, I mean, if you find this fucking song, Grok did. Grok did mention that particular band. The one that it recommended was not the right song. Although it did look like, you know, the proper band. So I don't know. How much Lake Champlain is polluted now. Dude, Lake Champlain has been polluted for a very, very long time with nitrate fertilizer runoff. That's been a problem since, I don't know, the 1990s or something like that. Why are people talking about me using magic? I'm not even trying at the moment. Also, I still can't see anything that's going on Rumble. For those of you that are tuned in on Rumble, I don't know what's wrong with the site. I am unable to see the chat. I'm going to try to reload it one more time. I just don't know what the fuck is going on over here. Let's try to... Yeah, we'll try to reload this. It probably won't work, but... I see Snakes Bleed Red. You gotta be Bobby Robinson to get Stick's attention, unfortunately. Copium Poppy, they charged me for all of them. Yeah, I'm sorry if you sent super chats and got charged, I am apologetic. Something is wrong terribly right now with Rumble. I don't know exactly what it is. Tarred and Feathered, mirrored sunglasses will trigger wasps and yellow jackets. That's pretty cool. CP Simple, is Rumble back? I don't know at this point. I have no fucking clue. I don't know what the hell is wrong. Also, I'm seeing myself live, and I don't want to. Celestial, I deliver chips and pretzels as a business. I'm packing for my own safety. You loot, I shoot. You should have one less asterisk in there, and then be like, you loot, I shit. Like, ha ha ha, hey guys, I'm gonna throw my poop at you. If you fuck up, you're gonna get poop thrown in your face. That would be pretty funny. Yeah, Classiques Nouveau. I mean, I've seen several of their songs. I've never heard that one particularly. And I can't really watch it while I'm on a live stream. It was similar to the band that I saw. It was a boy band, with a new romantic vibe. It was vaguely gothy. It reminded me sort of like Toya, but only with a boy band. It had a similar aesthetic. And I've been looking for it since I was a teenager, actually. And if I remember correctly, there was a scene when they're in front of like a mansion or something, and there's like trees and stuff like that. It was sort of like Toya's music videos tended to be. But I can't remember anything else about it. I've been looking for it for more than 20 years. Adrian Wood. Unless he's the lead singer of a boy band, it wouldn't be Adrian Wood. This had, if I remember correctly, 3 or 4 members. They were all white, and it was definitely a new romantic style. Tarred and Feathered. Putting barbed wire on my block wall is illegal. Haha, who cares if it's illegal? I do all sorts of illegal shit myself. I do not give a shit. It does not matter. Put primitive landmines everywhere. Your visitors will have a good time. Ian Francis, you sound like a libertarian. Well, that's because I am one, actually. Hopefully not an anarchist. No, I'm a classical liberal. I don't have a problem with government existing, it's just that it needs to be shrunk down considerably. Snakes bleed red. Sticks, if you shocked your dog, could you stop after? I have no clue what that refers to. I know it's a Hassan Piker reference. I do not believe in shocking animals to correct them unless they are particularly violent and there's some compelling reason to do so. Mexican barbed wire. Look up Mexican sugar dancing. Yeah. Then you're a true clanker. Mexican sugar dancing is you take a dead chick and then you use her as a marionette and use her as a prostitute, and people are fucking the dead body thinking that it's still alive. This is the sort of thing that I see on the internet on a regular basis. King of Biltong, premium biltong from Biltong, USA. High protein, keto friendly, no additives. US sourced beef, authentic South African flavor. Get some at BiltongUSA.com. Use code STICKS for 10% off. Always a good idea. Sith, that's pretty dark. Yeah, no, Mexican sugar dancing is definitely a dark topic. But when you've been on the internet long enough, you don't give a shit. Ah, shit. FB, the nor'easter has started. Well, that'll be wonderful. The hidden cost of affordable housing. It's because it's a pile of bullshit. When the government takes a bunch of tax money and uses it for housing purposes, it causes housing crises, actually. But the government will not acknowledge this. They refuse to say that that will actually be a case. It's not actually the case. It turns out it is, unfortunately, actually the case. The government makes everything worse that it touches. And so if the government comes in and gives a bunch of money into housing programs, it's really just driving up the prices. That means that other people that otherwise would generally be able to afford a house are not capable of affording it anymore. They're priced out. You know, you're making, let's say, $50K a year. Okay, you probably have enough money for rent for at least a small unit or something like that. But now, the rent has been driven up to $60K. That's the amount of money that you'll have to make in order to actually afford it. They've decided to raise the prices because the government is competing with them. And so then this spirals out of control, and we've seen this before in socialist regimes and things like that. Raven, I do not believe that Hurricane Melissa is expected to make landfall in the United States, but I do expect that there might be coastal damage. Dominic, Anise, everyone moved to Styx's house. You're all welcome. It'd be fun more than anything else. That would actually be hilarious. Like, have like fucking 30 clankers in the house at the same time. And my family would be like, what the hell? That would be fucking hilarious. Snakes bleed red. Do you still have your Toyota Avalon, Sticks? Technically, I still own it, yes. Kitty be good. Hey Sticks, did you see how Shame Ji looked in the footage out of Busan, South Korea today? Interesting choice of city, by the way. Yeah, I saw the footage of that. Ultimately, it was a pretty productive talk between Trump and Jinping. I don't expect there to be any further escalation, not at least at this time. Benjamin the Dream Wizard, the divine message arrives tomorrow. It comes in the form of an ancient poem made into a song in my AI radio channel. The angelic counterpart of Stolas shall speak directly to your heart and soul. Sounds good to me. Yeah, just make sure you get it to me. Yeah, here at the Sticks Hexen household, we mainly prefer females. G is a Fent Lord, says Heavy Gun. Yeah, that's going to be the big problem. The big problem is that I don't think that Jinping is really serious about reducing fentanyl flow into the United States. I can't imagine that that's actually serious, because why would he? There's no reason to. He can do it without any sort of, repercussions of any sort, and he can do it very cheaply. So it sort of makes sense to keep running it. FB. All men to the local church. Are you getting any wind and rain up here, there? We did get a rainstorm earlier. Not much wind, though. SC Woods, just saying, today is National Candy Corn Day. Why do you people keep reminding me of that? Sign of Jonah, November to February, I die. Can we please do something about winter? Candy corn and spam. Yeah, no, I can't do anything about the candy corn. You'll be just fine, don't worry. SC Woods, lol. Oh god. People won't fucking stop talking about candy corn. The hell? It's literally just a pile of sugar that has been compacted and colored. That's all that it is. Stop eating it. It should go out of business. It should stop existing. Tarred and feathered. A House of Dynamite 2025. Yeah, that would probably work. As long as it's not candy corn, I don't know why anyone eats that shit. Circus peanuts, candy corn, and similar things. There are some candies that are at least reasonable, like Smarties, for example. I know that it's just a pile of sugar, but at least, it tastes alright. Starbursts. Chewy, they stick in your teeth and stuff like that. But they're not bad. So there are certain candies that actually are reasonably nice. But this is not one of them. Candy corn is almost universally despised. The hell are you eating it for? It doesn't make any sense. Feels like I've been betrayed by my army when I wage a war against candy corn. And everyone keeps eating it. It's a big problem. Copium Poppies. I keep reminding you about candy corn because you cheated when eating peanut butter, ketchup, and candy corn sandwiches. You barely put any on it. Also, I'm eating candy corn now. Yum. You are wrong, sir. I did not cheat. I did put the proper amount of candy corn on the sandwich, and I did eat it. I also puked afterwards. Thank you very much for that. SC Woods. I don't eat candy corn either. Just trolling you. Yeah, I just can't do it. I mean, it's quite literally just corn. Processed corn. Yeah, SC Woods. Fundamentally, sign of Jonah. It's just corn syrup and sugar. That is true, actually. It quite literally, I mean, it's made of corn, I suppose. It's just weird, chemically processed corn. No, thank you. Jacob Castro. I thought candy corn was made out of wax. It's made out of my ass. Anthony Way, candy corn is awesome. Heretic. Ha ha ha. We've got circus penis. We've got mentions of all sorts of other crazy shit. I don't eat any sweets. I don't eat anything sugary. The only thing sugary that I eat, really, is I'll put a little bit of it in marinara sauce. You know, or something like that. That's the only time that I use sugar at all. Copium Poppies. You want to exercise the candy corn demon? Gotta redo the challenge. Also, you barely put any. It was a small pinch. There was like 5 kernels at most. I'm not eating candy corn again. So if that's what you want, you can forget it. If you want me to do the one chip challenge again, it depends on how much you pay me. We'll put it that way. I do have 4 more chips. They're not made anymore, so yeah. I would think about it. But this time around, I would definitely want the dairy on the side before I do the one chip challenge, if that makes sense. I'll go the full hour. It's just that I need to be able to, devalue that fucking spice as quickly as possible once an hour is up. Honey and tea is a must, Sticks. I usually take my tea plain, actually. Sometimes I use a little bit of milk or something like that. I'm not a huge fan of honey. Doug, Sticks, you were bleeding. Yeah, I know my mouth literally started bleeding from the one chip challenge. I don't care if it bleeds again. I would take it again. It's just I want to have the milk on hand so that I can just chug that down as soon as the 60 minutes is over. Because there are still some people who insist that I didn't actually pass the challenge. They are wrong, but at the same time, they claim it, and so I will prove them wrong if necessary. Don't underestimate me, dude. That's 1.7 million Scoville units. That's about 4 times hotter than a habanero. So yeah, you want to take the fucking challenge? Go ahead and fucking take the fucking challenge. Copium Poppies. Yeah, you cheated on the chip challenge too. Went off camera and definitely had time to drink milk. I swear to you, upon my life, upon my daughter's life, I did not touch any liquids. That was not what I was doing. I did have to piss though. But since you're not satisfied, I will do it again. That's right, bitch. I'm gonna take the one chip challenge fucking again. This time, nobody's gonna be able to impeach me on the one chip challenge. That's what I'm talking about. You wanna see pain? You wanna see agony? I'll do it one more time. No, tarred and feathered, my lip was bleeding, actually. So yeah, we're gonna do the one chip challenge again. You can't stop the fucking sticks. That's impossible. Yeah. Haha, snakes bleed red. Sticks bleeds red. Yeah, I might bleed again. Copium Poppies, you should get your dad to join the stream when you do. Both of you can do it. He's too old to do that sort of thing. He's got a heart condition. So sadly, he cannot take the one chip challenge. I find very, very much pride in the fact that I have eaten something far, far hotter than he has ever eaten, though, in his life. Because he was always like my mentor with regards to spicy shit. He'd just grab like jalapenos and stuff like that and say, oh, poblano pepper, yeah, that's pretty mild. And he'd just munch it down, right? So he was the one that ate like, pickled habaneros and shit. But I managed to pass the one chip challenge. And boy, oh boy, will I pass it again. You can't stop me. Nobody can. S.C. Woods, you should go on First We Feast. I want to go on that fucking show where they have like the hot wings. Because it's like, you're putting, weak-ass bullshit on these fucking hot wings. You think that's going to stop me? I'll eat every single one of them. I don't give a fuck. It would be very, very fun, actually. Get me on that fucking show where they do the hot wings and shit. And they do, like, political commentary, and they eat the fucking chicken wings. Because I guarantee I will go to the end. I'll go to the end and then I'll beg for more, actually. I'm not a huge chicken fan, but yeah. Try and fucking stop me with anything spicy. See what goddamn happens. That's what I'm talking about. It'd be funny, watch him choking to death. And they're like, ugh. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing, dude? That would be so fucking funny. I would laugh my ass off. Trackdoc.com. I have no clue what that is, by the way. I just know that if I can eat something that's 1.7 million Scoville units, I can eat a raw habanero and it won't really be a problem. So there's nothing that they can possibly put in the hot wings that's gonna stop me. It's impossible. Ah, violence is life. You are correct, sir. Cajun food is incredible. New Orleans during Halloween. Go visit the House of Shock. I wish. Unfortunately, I can't make my way down there. Sign of Jonah. Is it easy to make bread at home, or does it become a pain? I have never made bread. I've made dumplings, two different sorts, but I've never made bread. My mom makes sourdough, a regular sort of, regular wheat bread, and a few others. And they're all really, really good, but I don't know anything about making bread. All I can make is dumplings. Yeah, bread is beyond me. It's like kitchen alchemy or some shit. Patch Christ. Fire. Styx asks you to burn. I get the reference, by the way. Fire. Want it to burn. Copium Poppies. They could bread the chicken in one chip challenge chips. Yeah, I was thinking of that actually. I was thinking because it's so spicy, if you were to pulverize just a little tiny bit of it, if you put that in breading or something like that, it actually would be pretty good, I would think. Snakes bleed red, flower power. That is exceptionally mimetic that you said that, by the way. Copium, never been a fan of homemade bread. Has a weird texture. Yeah, a really nice one. Especially my mom's sourdough. Yeah, I love the sourdough. I'm a big fan of sourdough bread, just saying. S.C. Woods, that is the show, and the making bread line was a pun. Yeah, the show would be somebody shoving a habanero in their ass, and then while the habanero is still active, they have to make bread. That would be funny. Anyways, I'm going to go offline right now. I've got a lot to do. Keep in mind, it's All Hallows Eve, so, I'm going to be watching a couple of movies and shit like that. Also, got to eat at some point. It's slightly important for your daily diet to actually imbibe calories. Then, after that, I'm going to get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Halloween. And, after a couple of movies, I will get ready with the docket. That's what I'm talking about. That's about all. Oh, Spider Eternal. Not Spider Jerusalem, sadly. Yeah, bread is easy. Look up a needless recipes. You just need the fridge space to dedicate for proofing. Baking requires attention to detail. Weigh all your ingredients and be as precise as possible. That's why I can't really do baking. That's about all.